I'm going to bring out Rick Allen of Snag Films, and we're going to have a quick conversation here. Have a seat. Now, as you can tell, neither of us is Ted Leonsis. Rick and Ted are partners in Snag. Ted was at the NHL owners meeting?
Correct.
Yeah, ran long, and as a result, has not been able to get up here. So sorry, but Rick is the CEO of the company, can tell us all about it. So, you know, folks may have heard of Ted, folks may have heard of you, and may not know Snag Films, know you guys even were in the movie distribution business. So what is Snag, and why did you all decide to get into this kind of a business?
Terrific. Thanks again, Mike, for this opportunity. And on Ted's behalf, I do want to apologize for the fact that he was conflicted out of appearing today. He and I founded Snag Films about 5 years ago, and we wanted to create a platform for passionate communities to be able to consume video content and journalistic content of the highest order, and to be able to interact with that fan community, but to also be able to accomplish something more, something that Ted coined as filmanthropy. And that took the communication power of film and used it as a catalyst for communities to be able to do more. And we actually have, you had requested that we bring a clip from a new film. This is a film that is currently out in distribution, and it actually holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest paid film screening in history. They had 27,000 people who paid to watch this film, Honor Flight, in a special screening at the in the Milwaukee Brewers Stadium.
My dad was also in World War II, so he passed away 9 years ago, but it's really beautiful for my children to see the history and the men that fought for our country.
An honor flight trip is a big day for these veterans. In addition to the World War II Memorial, we often see the Korean Memorial, the Air Force Memorial, the Iwo Jima Memorial, and the changing of the guard at Arlington National Cemetery.
Part of the honor flight is to go back to them and say, do you have any idea what you did? These were 18, 19-year-old kids who went off and experienced stuff that most of us cannot even imagine. A lot of these guys will admit, I spent the whole time being afraid. And now to step back and realize that they actually saved the world, that much of the world lives in freedom because of what they did.
If it wasn't for you guys, not just the world, but my countrymen, my family, and I would not be free were it not for you. So God bless you all, and thank you so much.
My brother, he has no idea what kind of gathering has come about here. He's going to be just shocked.
very powerful. How'd you come to do that? Did you do it on your own? Were there brands involved? How did the movie come to be?
Honor Flight is one of over 4,500 films that we have in our library that we distribute, and we distribute over the web on our own websites, as well as on more than 100,000 distribution partners on the web, but through applications to all devices, smartphones, tablets, connected TVs, Xbox, over-the-top box, etc. These are films done by professional filmmakers. Many of them have gone through the film festival circuit, won film festival awards. Some come from large companies like National Geographic or Lionsgate or Sundance itself. Others from individual filmmakers. This one was actually done by a couple of young first-time filmmakers, and they were captivated by this national organization which sought out World War II veterans. And the kind of ostensible organizing principle was that they brought them on a chartered flight to Washington, D.C. to honor them. But in fact, what they were doing was reminding their communities of what they had accomplished. And for the families of these veterans, many of them didn't even know the stories of what their father or grandfather had done. Breitling, the watch manufacturer, has gotten very involved in the support of the film. They've struck a special watch. They're running 100,000 of them in a special run. The sales of that watch, the proceeds will go entirely to benefit the organization. They're also giving every buyer of the watch the DVD of the film. But there are a whole range of ways that brands can become involved in the production of content, in the distribution of content, and in making content of different kinds available to a broader audience.
So for brands, it's not just a way to sponsor, as in the old way, but actually to co-create, to spur careers, to potentially help society and do some good, all kind of wrapped up in one package in a new way. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've worked with brands in the distribution of the content that they've created, with Goldman Sachs in a series of 4-minute mini documentaries that they commissioned. We've also, because we own IndieWire, which is the principal kind of trade journal, think of it as the Daily Variety or Hollywood Reporter for the independent film and television world, we can go out to the professional filmmaking community on behalf of brands and attract the interest of the top filmmakers in the country to work with them. So the distribution of branded content, the co-creation of content, the mission usage of content in a way that intersects well with their CSR needs or corporate social responsibility needs. All of those things are possible because the on-demand environment and broad digital distribution makes it possible to go after audiences of interest.
So is this just different distributions? So instead of going to Sundance, you can do this? Or is there something in what you're doing that's fundamentally social, that involves the audience itself, that involves more people than you got the filmmaker, you got the white guys with money, and you get the movie out?
We love film festivals, and we work with essentially all of them around the world. But obviously, because that's in a real place at a real time, that's a limited audience that they can speak to. What we wanted to do was recreate the best aspects of that experience, which really are viewing wonderful films and the community of fans and interested individuals behind it. So I believe that it's a much more social experience in the way it's created. When we redid our website, which we did at the end of July, the real issue was how do you discover something that's going to delight you when there are 4,500 films available to you? And a lot of it is the social overlay. We put in an editorial overlay of what we recommended. We have a sophisticated algorithm. But we also brought the social graph in, so the sorts of things that your friends are watching and reviewing and commenting on, all activities that are social and pushed back out through the social feeds, are brought into what's recommended to you to be able to find something you're going to love.
And so, is this a fundamental change? I mean, in Hollywood, a creator would go find folks with monies, underwrite, go through a circuit. Is this really different than that, or is this the old model, just a more efficient social way of getting the films out there?
I think it's fundamentally different. In the first place, an on-demand environment is, by its very definition, very different than a pushed or scheduled day-and-date kind of experience. But also, we created Snag because Ted and I had produced films, and I had noted when I ran National Geographic that the cost of production in the 5-year period that I was launching the cable channel and running the for-profit side, we started out producing for networks at $3 million for a TV running hour at the high end. And when I left 5 years later, we were able to create broadcast-ready content, different kind of storytelling, but we could do it at $30,000 for a half an hour. What that's done is opened up for storytellers the opportunity to make really great content. So there's an explosion of content, but if you look at traditional distribution, whether it's in theaters or on linear television, that is bottlenecked. And so that content wasn't reaching the public. And by democratizing it and putting it on the schedule for consumers to watch what they want, when they want to watch it, I think that's a really fundamental shift.
Got it. That's all we have time for, I'm afraid, but Snag Films, check it out. I've become addicted finding all kinds of fascinating films that I might not have known about otherwise, and I think you will too. So thank you.
Thanks,
and,
Mike, and
thanks
thank
to
you.